Hey guys, it's November 11th and it's Veterans Day. So I don't know if you're celebrating or have school off or whatnot, but yeah, it's Veterans Day. How are you guys? I am filming over here because right in my desk, say hi. My son is zooming. He had to come to school with me because they got quarantined for 2 weeks. The whole school day because all of our cafeteria staff had to be quarantined, so they had nobody to feed the children. What a crazy world we live in. Anyway, so today we are going to talk about a faith of a foreign woman, and we're going to talk about the story of Ruth. I love this story. So, back in the days when judges ruled, there was a big famine. So we went through, everybody got to the promised land. There's a whole thing about judges. Guess what? They went back to their old ways. They weren't great people, so judges had to come in, and there was a bunch of different judges. But unfortunately, we only had a year to cover the Bible, so I had to cut some things.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that.
So a man, back in the day, there was a famine. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife Naomi and their 2 sons, went to live for a while in the land of Moab. Naomi's husband died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They grew up and they married Moabite women. One was named Orpah, and the other was named Ruth. After they had all lived together for about 10 years, both sons also died. With her 2 daughters-in-law, Naomi left the place where she had been living and set out on the road that would take them back to the land of Judah. Then Naomi said to her daughters-in-law, "Go back, each of you, to your mother's home, and may the Lord show you kindness as you have shown unto me." Because they stuck with her. I mean, she was kind of all alone. Everybody died, and they stayed with her even though they didn't have to. So Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye and left. But then Ruth clung to her, and Naomi said to her, "Your sister-in-law is going back with her people. Why don't you?" And Ruth said, "Don't urge me to leave you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth. Arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning, Ruth said to Naomi, "Let me go to the field and pick up the leftover grain that is left behind, and behind anyone who eyes I find favor." Okay, I read that wrong. That didn't make a lot of sense. But what she's saying is, like, after they pick the grain, she'll go and like pick up the scraps, kind of a thing. Like, that's how big of a famine there was. So she went out and entered a field and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in the field belonging to Naomi's relative Boaz. Boaz asked the overseers of his harvesters, "Who does that young woman belong to?" So Boaz said to Ruth, "My daughter, listen to me. Stay here with the women who work for me. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you. And whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars that the men have filled." At this, she bowed down with her face to the ground, and she asked, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you have noticed me, a foreigner? I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people that you did not before know. May the Lord repay you for what you have done." And then Ruth says, "May I continue to find favor in your eyes. You have put me at ease and spoken kindly to your servant, though I do not have standing as one of your actual servants." So she got treated like one of his workers, even though she was kind of just a vagrant, kind of picking up whatever was left over. So then Ruth went and told Naomi, like, hey, I'm working for Boaz. Like, this is great. Naomi said, Lord bless him. He has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and to the dead. The man is our closest relative, and he is one of our guardian redeemers. So Ruth stayed close to the women of Boaz, so the women that were gathering food, until the barley and wheat harvests were finished. One day, Ruth's mother-in-law said to her, my daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be provided for. Now Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be working on the threshing floor, wash, put on perfume, get dressed in your best clothes, and then go down to the threshing floor, but don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, go and cover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do. So Ruth went down to the why is that word so hard for me to say? Threshing floor, and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he was in good spirits. He went to lay down. Ruth approached quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down in the middle of the night. This startled the man, and he turned. There's a woman laying at my feet. Who are you? I am your servant Ruth. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are my guardian redeemer of our family. Boaz said, this kindness is greater than which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all that I ask, all that you ask. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Although it is true that I am your guardian redeemer of our family, there is another who is more closely related than I. Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to do his duty as your guardian redeemer, good. Let him redeem you. But if he is not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it. So basically, she's kind of asking, like, I'd like to date you, or, whatever. And he was like, there's another guy in line, because they didn't always get to marry whoever they wanted or even date whoever they wanted. There was like an order of the family that had to go through. So in the morning, Boaz went back to town. He went up to the town gate and sat down there just as the guardian redeemer he had mentioned came along. And then he said to the guardian redeemer, Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling a piece of land that belonged to our relatives. I thought I should bring the matter to your attention and suggest that you buy it. If you will redeem it, do so. But if not, tell me. For no one has the right to do it except you, and I am next in line. On the day you buy the land from Naomi, you also acquire Ruth, a widow, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his prosperity. And at this, the guardian redeemer said, then I cannot redeem it because I might endanger my own estate. You redeem it yourself. I cannot. Go buy it. Boaz announced to the elders and all the people, today you have witnessed that I have bought from Naomi all the property of her family. I've also acquired Ruth the Moabite. Today you have witnessed it. So Boaz took Ruth and she became his wife. Soon she gave birth to a son. And then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. And there she named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. So that is the story of Ruth. Now I want you to think about a couple of things. And this is what I want you to email me back and let me know the answers to. One, Ruth left her home and all of her relatives to be with Naomi and to follow God. Why did she do this? because it wasn't her God. She wasn't a Christian. She was a Moabite. What do you think Ruth's story shows us about God's love? And how does God use Ruth, a non-Jew, to bless and continue God's plan? Remember, eventually her son, like, she's in the lineage of David. So what does that mean? So, and how should we treat people? How did Boaz treat Ruth and Naomi? And when difficult times come, what causes you to continue to have hope in God? So those are my questions. And I also want to know what you're doing for Thanksgiving, because since some of you, it might look a little different. Are you guys doing the same thing? Are you switching it up? Are you doing anything different? Are you still able to have your favorite food? I hope I have mine. It's probably mashed potatoes. My mom makes these mashed potatoes with cream cheese and like cheddar cheese. I don't even know how much of it is actual potatoes anymore, but it is so good. So I hope you enjoy the story about Ruth. It's kind of cool that she's a girl in the Bible, and I love the message of kindness she brings. It's not always easy to cling to somebody and have trust in somebody and to want to take care of somebody as much as Ruth did for Naomi. Just think about that. Do you have somebody in your life that you could cling to that much and that would take care of you that well? And how are you acting like a Ruth? Are you being beyond kind and generous? Are you even being kind and generous? Sometimes it's hard to just even be kind and generous. Anyway, I'll pray for you. Dear Father God, thank you for these kiddos. I hope one day we can see each other soon in person, but I pray you bless them and let them know that even though it's through a camera, I'm still thinking about them and I still pray over them. And I hope their families are doing well, and I hope they're doing well. And I hope they continue to excel and grow in their relationship with you. In your name. Okay, so next week we have service projects here at church, which means I won't be doing a video, but I'd like you to think of something you could do. Something even simple, like maybe mail a letter to one of our pastors and just encourage them, or to the nursing home, do a thank you note maybe to nurses and staff in the hospital, or just deliver stuff to the food pantry, something like that. Just try to do something like that this week. And then the next week is actually Thanksgiving week, so we won't have confirmation that week either. But yeah, if in your email you want to tell me what you are planning to do for like a little service project on your own, that would be awesome. All right, bye guys.